Hey folks, it's David Thompson here, and I got a question for you. Are you stuck in your ways? Because what I've been experiencing over the last 30 years of business training and personal development training is that a lot of people are holding on to their old ways of thinking, and it's causing them to struggle, and it's causing them a lot of grief. And more so today than in any time in history where things change at a rapid pace, we have to find a way to allow ourselves to progress and to change and to move forward. And a lot of that comes from awareness. Now, there's a lot of people that are experiencing one of two different scenarios out there because of what's going on in the global economy. As you know, over the last 7 years, a lot of people have seen that it seems that there's been some major shifts, major changes going on, and it seems that the trend is toward entrepreneurship. And what's happening is with a lot of companies that are downsizing and outsourcing, what's happening is people are either being proactive and seeing that the future is coming, and they make a decision that they're going to be looking at making a change for themselves before you become part of the second part of the equation, which means that one day you walk into your job and someone comes up to you and says you no longer work here anymore. One day everything was fine, you've got your full benefits, your full salary, and you just kept going on like everything was normal. And there's been millions of people that have experienced this in the last 7 years, and it looks like the trend's going to continue because a lot of companies are trying to find ways to operate more efficient, cheaper, whatever you want to call it, and you become the consequence of that. So you can either decide that you're going to take the future into your own hands and make some decisions, or you're going to be one of those consequences of walking into work one day and all of a sudden your future no longer exists at that place of employment. Now, there's about 50% of the people that are actually hardwired to be entrepreneurs. So sometimes getting fired or losing your job can actually be a benefit to you, but typically speaking, for most people that have been into this environment of working at a job and having someone establish a value for you, it's very, very difficult because you've got the same way of thinking that you've had for a long, long time, and it's very difficult to change. So, and I'm going to give you one of the primary reasons why from my experiences of talking to thousands of people, why I believe that a lot of this is happening. Now, you can associate this for yourself and you'll get a better answer. But for the most part, most people, what they do is for the first 20 years of your life, somebody in your circle of influence, whether it be parents, friends, family, coaches, teachers, could be people that you've worked for, everybody's telling you what to do. And this goes on for at least the first 20 years of your life. And then all of a sudden, it seems that when you turn 21, that you're supposed to be like a mature adult now, and people come walking up to you and going, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And typically speaking, most people have never asked you this. So now you're confronted with the opportunity or the challenge of trying to figure out what do you want to do. And if you've got a certain way of thinking, if you want to progress forward, you have to change your way of thinking. So that means you have to find a way to develop a new mindset and stop being stuck in your old ways of thinking, because sooner or later you're going to have to change. Now, the reason that this is a real dilemma for most people is that one of the only constants in the universe is change. But one of the things that people resist the most is change, and maybe you can relate to that. Now, in order for us to move forward, awareness is necessary for change to happen. So you've got to actually learn to get out of your own way of thinking and let go of some of the things that you've learned to think about, because depending on where you're at in life, just ask yourself this question. If you go back 5 years, do you still think the same way you did 5 years ago? Go back 10 years. Do you think the same way you did 10 years ago? And go back by increments of 5 years, and you'll actually see that a lot of changes that you may or may not be aware of have taken place in your lifetime. Now, entrepreneurship is a very, very, very fast-growing trend in the world, and changes are happening at warp speed all the time. So the question that I'm going to put to you right now is, what are you going to choose to do? Are you going to choose to be proactive and start doing your research now and responding and start getting yourself involved with some personal development so that you can actually progress, develop a sense of conscious awareness so that you can make changes that are more fitting and more resonate about who you are, what you want, and where you want to go? Who do you want to become? It's a question that a lot of people, like might be asking themselves. And also the other question is, what's my purpose in life? So find what you're passionate about. So you're going to have to start asking some questions. And more importantly, you're going to have to learn to let go of all of these old ways of thinking in order for you to stop being stuck in your ways of doing things. And some of the common mistakes that entrepreneurs make when they get into business, whether they've never been there before or not, is number one, you try to reinvent the wheel. I don't know if anybody's ever given you an idea, and one of the first things you look at, I can do this better. So you want to typically go out and try to change it. Well, what would happen if somebody came along that's achieved what you want to achieve, and they're going, here's a blueprint for success. All you have to do is follow this step-by-step systematic process, and you can achieve your goals too, just like I did. And you don't have to go through a lot of the obstacles. Now, don't get me wrong, there is no real shortcut to success. You're going to have to put in the work. There's no way to get around that. That's just a given that you've got to put that in. But somebody can actually help you because they have achieved in life what you want to achieve. So they certainly can help you get there a little bit faster. They can shorten your learning curve, and they can actually help you to stop being stuck in your old ways of thinking. So I hope this has helped you in some way. I hope you've gotten some value out of this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and have a great day.